Hello, my name is Vicki Molta, and this is You and Your Mental Wellness. We've been doing this show for about over 3 years now. We're in Madison, and the show You and Your Mental Wellness focuses on people who are in recovery from mental health issues and or substance use issues, who are living hopeful, meaningful lives. The whole purpose really is to fight the stigma that people have that people can't recover from traumatic episodes or difficult things in their lives, and this show goes once a month, and each person that has been on my show has an amazing story to tell, and my hope is to just educate people about the fact that people can get better and move on with their lives. So tonight I have a guest on my show, Joanne Blanchette Silverio, and I met her through, I had contacted an organization in Connecticut called Advocacy Unlimited, which they offer a program called Recovery University, and I went through the program myself. I was in the first class.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was back in, I think, I don't know, 2004 or something like that.
Wow, I didn't realize it was running that long.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
so they've
neat.
been doing it for quite a while now. So, you know, I advertised and contacted people who have been through Recovery University, and got your name, and contacted you and met with you, and you know, I thought you'd be good to be on the show.
Thank you.
So why don't you just first of all tell me about how you heard about Recovery University, and a little bit about, for people that don't know what Recovery University is, what it involved, and.
It was a couple of years ago that I did go to Recovery University, and I was just looking for something that would help me help other people with any kind of mental health issues. And you had to have had some kind of traumatic injury or episode in your life, or trauma in your life in the past, to be able to take the class so that you could relate to others. And so I had found out through the group, through a coworker, and she was telling me about it, and she gave me the name of a person to call, and I did, and I found out more information, and signed up for the course, and it was fascinating. I learned so much. It was just amazing.
And what kind of things did they cover, just for?
A lot of logistic things of like what's okay by law and not by law. At our graduation, actually, one of our speakers said the work that we did was like earning an associate's degree.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
It was so intense, and I can tell you that the work was very intense.
Yeah.
But it was so wonderful, just how to work with people, how to be so compassionate, how to be not judgmental, because everybody has a story, everybody has a different path. And the idea of Recovery University was teaching us how to work with people who have had trauma in their past, and so I also have trauma in my past, so I could relate to what we were learning, and I knew that I would be able to relate to others by taking this course.
Right.
So I found it would just be so helpful, no matter what I decided to do in my future life, and I'm finding that it has. I do go back to a lot of what I've learned, and just in how to control myself, and how to react to others, and how to respect others, and not how to judge others, and think about, you know, other people have a story too, just like I have a story.
Right.
We all have a story.
You feel like you're not alone. Everybody,
yeah.
you know, you learn more and more that there are so many, that people are more alike than different.
Exactly.
You know? And that maybe some people don't want to disclose or whatever, but everybody's got something.
Right.
But just to go back one minute, now you had to take a test too, an exam, didn't you, to be certified?
Yes.
So you're a certified recovery support specialist.
I am.
And people can use those credentials to really get jobs in the field.
Right.
Helping, working as peer workers, and so they have really, Recovery University has reached hundreds of people all over the state. So it's really, it's an amazing, we're going to put up the information about Recovery University at the end of the show. if people are interested in being involved with that. But so going back to you, so why don't you tell me a little bit about your recovery and like what your life was like before that and how you got to the point where you're in a really good place now in your life. And so before you got recovery, what was it difficult? It was
I'm a survivor / thriver of sexual abuse. I was sexually abused as a child, and of course that sexual abuse brings up a lot of issues and trauma along with it. And so there was a lot of tough years of just trying to work through that, a lot of counseling, a lot of therapy, a lot of working with other people, a lot of self-discovery in my part too, of learning who I am and that, abuse doesn't define who I am. And so when I heard about Recovery University, I was really excited about it because what I'm working on right now is opening my own business because I want to do energy healing on women who have been abused. And I want to take the skills that I've learned from Recovery University and apply it to people who have been through trauma, along with my own experience of what it's taken me to get through the hardships that I've had to deal with and heal. So to me, it was a win-win situation because it was a very eye-opening area in the sense, like you mentioned, I wasn't alone when I went through the class. I noticed that, and now I learned a lot of skills that I can help other people heal through, talking with them about their experiences, but also through my energy healing and also respecting who they are, where they've been, what their storyline is, and where they want to go.
Right.
So it's really a package deal because you have to, the past and the present and the future are just all together one. It's all one. So that's the way I look at working with people, is just taking them where they want to be and helping them where they are now.
Right. So like I've talked with a lot of people before on the show, you meet the person where they're at.
Right, exactly.
And sometimes it can be hard to do that because you're in a different place maybe or further along in your recovery. But I think it's great that you have firsthand experience, so you have a special empathy and understanding about what it's like, so you're able to combine your own personal experiences with formal classroom knowledge too.
Right. And I can only say that has been the best thing that's ever happened to me, in the sense that I would never be able to do this work of working with women who have been abused if I have not been abused, because I understand their story. I don't get frustrated with them. I listen to them. And so many of our stories are alike, even though maybe some things have happened to each of us. A lot of the issues are the same.
Right.
So I'm able to just put myself into that place where I used to be with them. And because I've been there.
Right.
And I don't look down on anybody or I don't judge anyone, because I've been there too, and I know what it's like and I know what they're going through.
So what do you think about people who, maybe mental health providers, who don't have that personal experience, that they're maybe more book smart, or do you think they're as effective maybe as?
I think they can be very helpful, but I think there's something definitely lacking. I have had therapists who have been abused, and I've had therapists who have not been abused, and there has been a huge difference. And I've noticed that. And so me being a Reiki master and wanting to heal people energetically and help them get rid of their negative energy, I'm doing the same thing to myself all the time. I continue to get rid of negative energy from my body all the time. So I'm applying that now to other people and helping them to heal and let go of their negative energy and let go of the trauma they've been carrying their whole life.
That's great.
So, little by little, we take baby steps. I mean, there's no rushing, because there's just so much to release that you just can't do it in a day.
So why don't you explain, because I still don't know all that much about Reiki and being a Reiki master and how you discovered it, how you found out about it, and what it can really do, because I think a lot of people maybe they've heard of it, Reiki,
but don't know what it's like. I've had so many people ask me, "What is that?" So, like, okay, let me let me start. Okay. Well, actually, I found out about it because my sister-in-law was studying Reiki, and she wanted someone to practice on. So she asked me, and of course I was game for that, because I was like, yeah, I love energy healing. I love holistic healing in a whole sense, So this was holistic healing. So, so come to find out, when she started to Reiki me, my memories started coming back that I was sexually abused.
Oh, wow.
Which I had hidden so deeply because I couldn't face them.
Mm-hmm.
So the Reiki and letting go of the negative memories helped me to heal. Mm-hmm. And that was just, session by session. Again, you only want to release what you're ready to release, because it can be so overwhelming. So you really need to take baby steps in any kind of recovery. I mean,
Right.
really think about it. You don't want to rush through it, because you have to take your time. And you have to really process what you're going through and what you're releasing. And so...
Do they put their hands on, like what do they do?
Right. You can. I have what's like a massage table,
Mm-hmm.
and I can, if people feel comfortable, I can touch them, and if people don't feel comfortable, I don't have to touch them, and it's still the healing energy comes out of my hands. It actually comes through my head
Mm-hmm.
and down through my hands. Which is called chakras. There's chakras, which are energy centers in our body, and a lot of people have heard those words, but they're not really sure what that is. We have 7 major chakras, and and we have minor chakras in our hands. But what happens is I put my hands on the person or above them, and help them to let go of whatever negative energy they're ready to let go of. But I can't force anybody to let go of energy they're not ready to let go of. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of it, is that they decide subconsciously what they're going to get rid of, what negative energy, what memory they're going to let go of, whatever comes up. We never know what's going to come up in a session. So we just go with it, and we talk about it, and talk about how they're feeling, and we just stay in the moment. Mm-hmm. Of what is coming up and how that relates to their life in the past, or right now, or possibly in the future.
Now, do you have to go to school for that?
I've been through many training courses.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes, I have many certificates
Mm-hmm.
that I've, classes that I've taken online, in person, with other Reiki masters. And you can also go to school for it. There's many different ways that you can learn energy healing and all the different facets of it. I mean, there's so many. It's unbelievable, which makes it exciting, because it never gets boring.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was going to say. I think it sounds really exciting.
It is.
It sounds from the way you're talking, you're really passionate about it too.
Yes, I am.
And so you want to have your own business? Is
Yes.
that what you want to? Mm-hmm. You want to open your own?
Right.
Do you have like a time frame about when you want to?
Within the next year.
Oh, that would be great.
Somewhere within the next year, I plan on working out of my home in Plainville.
Uh-huh.
And
now, would it be just women, or would it be men
yes,
too?
I want to work just with just women, just because I feel I have that connection with women. There's a big difference between abuse between men and women. There's very different issues. So I feel that working with women is going to be a lot more productive for me and for the other person. I just feel that that's my calling,
right,
is to work with other women. I've thought of men, but I'm just being called to work with women.
Right.
So
right.
I've just made that decision that's where I need to be.
That's great. So I'm trying to think. Just going back for a minute to when you were, before. It sounds like you've done a lot of work on yourself.
Yes, I have.
And what are some of the other coping mechanisms that you've used? Because you've told me about some of them, and if to help people to see that maybe they could do things too that would help them
most
to
definitely.
cope
There's
with.
so much you can do on your own. One thing I would recommend is meditation. And if you go on YouTube, there are so many different meditations for free that you can listen to and follow. And I try to meditate quite often, because meditation really calms the body, and it helps you get in touch with yourself. So it helps you also bring up maybe some memories that you forgot, and help you release a negative energy.
My husband does that.
Okay.
My husband's been meditating for about 45 years.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
He has like an Eastern religion, like yogi or whatever, It really, it calms him down.
amazing.
That's what helps him, you know, really.
Oh, meditation has proven that it can lower your blood pressure. It can prevent heart attack, migraines. I mean, it can just do so many things, positive things for you.
You
and
have
it's
to
so
really
easy to do. It's not really difficult. People think, oh my gosh, meditation, I could never do that. And if you just listen to a meditation, first of all you have to do is relax, maybe on the floor or on your bed, and listen, and just pay attention, but be present to what you're listening to. And that's all you really have to do. And the body just takes over, and the spirit and the soul just takes over. And it's just so calming. I mean, I try to listen to a meditation every night.
Wow, that's great.
You know, when I'm going to bed, when I'm in bed, and it's just so releasing of any kind of junk I'm carrying from the day, or just other things that are coming up from my past.
Well, I do know that I've tried it where you try to focus on just maybe one thing, but then I find that all my thoughts come up, and it's very
right. And that's how I started too. And what I do a lot of times is, like, say I'm in traffic and I'm, it's backed up. I just concentrate on my breathing.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you don't have to have YouTube, and you don't have to have. You could just concentrate on your breathing, and when a thought comes in, I just push it right back out of my mind and go, okay, go away, and then I just go back to my breath. So the more you practice, the easier it gets.
Well, my husband said that emotions and feelings, when they come into the mix, are kind of like clouds in the sky, where you can watch the thoughts, the emotions, the clouds pass, the feelings pass.
Yes.
And the feelings don't have to stay with you forever, even if they're uncomfortable, distressing feelings.
Right.
To know that if you just watch those thoughts, that they pass, and that then there's this immense peace and like a clear sky beyond the clouds.
Right.
And,
right. Some of the other tools that I've used with meditation is, if a thought comes up, and I'm very curious about, why did that come up? Like what's in that for me? Like, what message am I trying to get? I mean, I push it aside while meditating, but then I'll go back and I'll get my journal. I've been journaling for over 25 years.
Wow, that's great.
And
I do that
is
too.
So helpful for healing. All you need is a pen and piece of paper. So it's not expensive. And you just write your thoughts, and I just keep going until I run out of thoughts or words or whatever. But I find that as I write, I go deeper and deeper inside of myself. And so maybe something that's kind of just up here in my mind, actually I'm able to get deeper into it and find out why that thought came to me, because I needed to explore deeper. So after my meditation, I take that time to journal and go deeper and start asking myself questions, or just start writing and see what comes up. I mean, it's amazing what comes up that I don't even plan.
Right.
Because you just don't know what's in your body and what wants to come up. Because in our body, we have memories. Our cells have memories. So everything that's happened to us in our life are actually in our cells. It's called cellular memory. So the fact is that anything from our past could come up in our life at any time, because there's no structure of time. Really, there is no time. It's all man-made. So something like from my childhood could come up, or something that I did yesterday that I didn't feel comfortable with, or something I feel really great about, and I'm excited about, and I want to know more about that. And so I'll journal about that. Like, wow, that was a really exciting thought. Let me delve a little bit deeper into that and see what that has in store for me. And a lot of times I get guidance. Okay, this is where I need to move next.
Wow.
So it can go both ways. It can release negative energy and be very healing, but it also can be very guiding in moving me forward in the next step that I need to take in my healing. So journaling, I recommend to anybody. If you can write, and you don't even have to worry about spelling, because nobody really cares. It's just between you and whoever you're writing to, or yourself. I write to God myself, but spelling he doesn't care. He or she doesn't care. Spelling doesn't count.
He doesn't give you an A or a B. Or
There's no grading. You can't do it wrong. So so that is just, I highly recommend that to anyone who's working with has thoughts or can't get deep enough into them, grab a pen and piece of paper and just see where it goes.
I've been doing that for years. I don't meditate like my husband, but I do write in my journal, and it's like a release where you feel like you're just letting out stuff that has been, you know, built up inside.
Right. Do you find that allows you to go deeper too?
Oh yeah. If I start writing, it goes deeper and deeper.
You get deeper into your heart and your soul, your spirit, to find out what's really going on in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of writing and journaling, is that it allows you to take that time to get deeper. And again, it doesn't matter what you write. It could, I've written and I say to myself, this is the silliest thing that I've ever written. This makes no sense. But then I keep writing, and then it's like, oh, okay, this is starting to make sense.
Right.
Because of what I'm learning as I go deeper into myself.
And you get insights into yourself too. You know, you learn maybe past patterns of things that you've done that maybe led you in the wrong direction, so I think it's amazing. So it sounds like you've done a lot of work on yourself.
Oh yeah, I have.
Which is really amazing. You must have a lot of courage, because a lot of people don't like to look inside themselves. You know,
it's difficult
because it can be painful, and
you
know. But it sounds like you're just very motivated to want to get better and be well and healthy and
help others.
Yeah.
You know, I always took the attitude that I was never going to let my abusers win. And so for me, that has been my motivation to become healthy, because I'm not going to let anybody else wreck my life.
Somebody else told me that too, that was on the show. They said something like, they're not going to let my enemies or my abusers win, or I'm going to show them that I can live a good
healthy life. Right.
Yeah.
And now taking it one step further is turning what seemed like a very negative thing, turning it into a positive, you know, and turning it into a way to help other women who are experiencing what I've experienced.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm just doing a total flip with that, and being total despair to flipping to helping others.
That's amazing.
You know, and being a strong woman, and feeling good about myself and who I am, and liking myself and loving myself, and sharing that with others, and showing other women you can do that too.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I could do it, you could do it. Anybody could do it. It just takes time. You know, but it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, somebody else that was on the show said, I didn't write my book. I didn't start out with a book that I didn't have control, or I didn't write the beginning part of my book of my life. You know, I had disadvantages and things like that, but I can choose how I want to write about my life today, and how my life will be in the future. And it can be a good ending. It can be a happy ending, and we don't have control over the things that happened to us when we were younger, but we can overcome them, and helping others is a big thing too.
It's a huge motivation too. I mean, first of all, helping yourself is a huge motivation, you know, but then when you get to that point, you know, some people want to go on and help other people and share their experiences. And there's so many programs out there like AA, and you know, there's just so many other people who've been, you know, in other trauma situations and want to help others through their experience.
Right.
So to me, it's a win-win situation. Because I understand how these women are feeling, and I can relate to it, but I can also tell them, you know what, you don't have to stay there for the rest of your life.
Right.
We can move you forward together.
So that's just amazing. You know, I think that's kind of like what the purpose of life should be about, is to helping people along the way. It's almost like you're on a you've been on a journey, and it's like you've been climbing this mountain, and now you're on a ledge, and you're helping other people who are climbing the mountain along the way.
I'm pulling them up with me. Come on up!
And you can still keep climbing.
And I'm still climbing. Oh yeah, I'm still climbing. You know, which is wonderful, because there's always more to learn. Always. We never get to a point where we don't learn anymore. So we always have a chance to get better and to share that with other people, and that's what I want to do. And to me, that fulfills my life, like you were mentioning. You know, that's just so important.
Yeah.
And to spread that energy and that love with other people is just so inspiring for others, and inspiring for myself.
Right.
So to me, it's just a win-win situation when you could just be with other people and say, you know what, I've been there, And I don't disregard, or I don't discount anything that you're saying. I totally get it. And you know what? We can move on from here. You don't have to stay here for the rest of your life. You have a choice. You can move forward.
And they don't have to feel so alone.
Correct.
That they can feel safe, that there was somebody like you who can make them feel safe, and that they can trust you.
Right.
And I think safety and trust are big
very
issues.
Important. Very
to be with
huge,
someone that
huge,
you can,
huge.
because it's hard maybe if they've been abused for them to trust someone who can help them, you know.
Right.
But I wanted, I feel like we've talked, it's been amazing, but I do, and I had a lot of questions I wanted to ask you, but I do want to bring up something that's close to your heart about the archangels, as a part of your
my healing process.
healing.
Yes.
Just if you want to describe that a little bit in the 2 minutes.
Yeah,
we have.
right. Well, it's run by Susan Emilian, and there are 2 workshops, 2 Saturdays in a row, and there'll be a website put up. And what you can do is go to that website. Those workshops are free, and that's how I started a huge healing journey. Also, so I went to these workshops, and now I work with Susan in teaching courses, because we meet monthly, and so now I'm teaching a lot of the other women who have gone through the workshops about holistic healing.
Oh,
different
great.
ways that they can holistically heal themselves that doesn't cost any money, like journaling, meditating. I just taught a class about the chakras and what do they mean, and why do we have them, and so Susan and I and others who have been through the workshop are trying to holistically help others who are going through trauma and help them heal.
And there are quite a few people that are in it too.
Yes.
There's so much more I want to ask. I'd love for you to come on again, and,
I would
and
love
you could
to.
Get into more detail about it, and we're going to have to wrap up. But I did want to mention one thing too, that you've been married 33 years, you have 2 grown daughters, and you're a grandmother too.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment too.
Yes, it is. We have a brand new baby girl.
Oh, that's
She's
great.
only a week old.
Oh.
Yeah, and our anniversary is this week, actually, for 33 years.
Wow.
So there's just so many wonderful things going on in our lives, and it's because I worked so hard, you know, and other people supported me. I mean, I couldn't do it by myself. My family supported me. I had a lot of friends who supported me. It was just a wonderful thing, and I'm here to support others. It's just a wonderful thing to do for each other.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Joanne, for being on the show. It's gone so fast. I want to thank Jeff Hansen for doing the production. He always does a great job, and Abigail White, who runs the studio, and of course the audience. And if anybody is interested in being on the show, you can, Jeff will put up my contact information after the show. And so just want to thank you for watching, and we'll just see you next month. Show goes half an hour once a month, and have a good fall. Thanks.